Hello everyone, dear Barça fans. This is Chaik, a passionate fan like you, here to talk about our beloved club. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with all the FC Barcelona news. Today, we're going to discuss 3 hot topics concerning our beloved team. Firstly, let's talk about a chapter that seems to be coming to an end, the story between FC Barcelona and Frenkie De Jong. After several seasons of ups and downs, where the Dutchman's talent has shown at times, but where doubts and economic challenges have also been present, everything indicates that his departure could well become a reality. From the Camp Nou offices, the management is already preparing the ground for a transfer that could mark a turning point in the club's economic and sporting restructuring under the firm leadership of Joan Laporta. Manchester United's interest in De Jong is not new, but this time, according to sources close to the negotiations, the offer that could be put on the table would reach €70 million. A considerable sum in these times of financial rigor, which would allow Barça not only to lighten a significant wage bill but also to take a step towards sustainability and flexibility in the transfer market. Joan Laporta, who since his return has insisted on the need to balance the books without losing competitiveness, has clearly shown that he is ready to negotiate if the offer meets the club's expectations. This is not a hasty or capricious decision. The current context demands firmness and planning, and in this sense, coach Hansi Flick has given his approval to the operation. The German technician, who is building his team on pillars of commitment, intensity, and tactical functionality, understands that there are decisions that must be made for the collective good. De Jong, with his high salary and irregular integration into certain game systems, represents one of those opportunities where a transfer can benefit all parties. The ongoing operation would not only allow the club to receive a significant sum that could be used intelligently in other strategic areas, but also to considerably reduce the wage bill, one of the most delicate issues in recent times. The effort to maintain a competitive team must go hand in hand with a healthy economic structure, and it is in this context that this potential sale is considered. The message is clear: Barça is not giving up on its greatness, but it knows that the future must be built on solid foundations, not on excessive spending or commitments that condition sporting flexibility. The case of De Jong is symbolic in many ways. He arrived as one of the great transfers of a generation, with extremely high expectations, and although he has offered moments of quality and commitment, he has also been at the center of a process where pressure, injuries, and the team's ups and downs have not allowed him to establish himself as the beacon that many hoped for. His departure should therefore not be interpreted as a failure, but as a stage that is closing with dignity, with the possibility for both parties to continue growing on different paths. Joan Laporta has been clear from day one: Barça is above names. The institution must be managed with intelligence, courage, and responsibility. And if this means making emotionally unpopular but structurally necessary decisions, there is no room for doubt. De Jong is a good player, no one disputes that, but the current project requires financial fluidity, space for new profiles, and the certainty that each piece fits perfectly into Flick's plan. It is also important to emphasize that this operation is not seen as a desperate urgency to replenish the coffers, but as a premeditated strategy, supported by the technical staff and management, and thought out in the medium and long term. It is not about selling for the sake of selling, but about opening the door to a departure that, if it materializes under the expected terms, will serve as a positive lever for the club. With €70 million and one less wage bill, Barça will be able to continue building its new era with more freedom, ambition, and coherence. The team's playing style is being redesigned with German precision, and this implies that some profiles, no matter how talented, no longer fit into the future vision that is being developed. Flick wants a dynamic, committed, and adaptable team. De Jong, whose professionalism has never been questioned, is simply not indispensable in this new structure. And when a player is not indispensable and his departure represents a gain for the club, the decision becomes logical, even necessary. The question now is, what do the supporters think of this possible departure? Do you think it is time to turn the page on Frenkie De Jong at the club? Or do you think he still has a lot to offer in blue and garnet? There are valid arguments on both sides, but what cannot be denied is that Barça is acting with wisdom and firmness. It is no longer time for empty promises or sentimentality that mortgages the future. It is time to take the reins and move forward. Many will remember that in previous years, the club found itself entangled in disproportionate contracts that continue to have consequences today. Learning from the past is a sign of maturity, and in this sense, letting De Jong go under appropriate conditions can be a clear sign that the institution has found its way again. It is not just about replenishing the coffers, but about regaining full control of the wage and sporting structure. In the end, if Manchester United meets the economic expectations, everything indicates that De Jong will pack his bags and leave Camp Nou. He will do so with his head held high, with gratitude for the years shared, and with the respect of a public that knows how to appreciate commitment. But he will also do so in a context where the club once again shows that it knows how to make difficult decisions for the common good. The possible departure of Frenkie De Jong also opens the door to a deep reflection on the economic model that Barça has built in recent years. Despite the affection and respect that the club and the supporters have for the Dutchman, there is an increasingly widespread understanding among the Gules that this type of decision is part of the transformation process implemented by the management. Joan Laporta is not acting on impulse or under external pressure, but with a clear and strategic vision. And you, Cule, what do you think? Do you think it is time to say goodbye to Frenkie De Jong? Do you see this operation in a positive light, as it can benefit the club in all aspects? Do you agree with the planning implemented by Joan Laporta and Hansi Flick? The debate is open, but one thing is certain: Barça is making brave decisions and looking to the future with confidence. Secondly, let's discuss another important decision within our club. Barça continues to show clear signs that it has learned to navigate the market intelligently. The potential departure of Gerard Martin is a prime example. Instead of clinging to sentimentalism or making emotionally driven decisions, the management demonstrates that it knows how to prioritize what the team needs most right now: financial balance, sporting sustainability, and coherence with the new model that Hansi Flick is implementing. Gerard, a product of LAMINE who has made a good impression when given the opportunity to play, could be heading to another club this summer if an offer close to €15 million comes in, a sum that Barça considers fair for his departure. And while this may seem painful to those who appreciate homegrown players, we must not forget that every step taken by the current management follows a clear and strategic vision. Gerard has fulfilled his duties with professionalism and commitment, especially at times when the team needed urgent solutions on the left side of the defense. It is not easy to step onto the field in demanding matches and perform as he has, showing serenity, maturity, and good tactical awareness. However, football is also about evolution, renewal, and adaptation to new challenges. During the pre-season, the emergence of Jofrito Rennes completely changed the game. His speed, audacity, and understanding of what the new coach demands have led the technical staff to look to the future with a new perspective. This is not about betraying LAMINE or undermining a player who has performed well. It is about making brave decisions. Gerard Martin, beyond the affection that some supporters may have for him, is not currently an indispensable profile within the new system. Flick wants fullbacks who push forward, break free, and project into attack with force. Gerard offers control, security, and order, but not overlapping runs or depth. And if the club can secure a significant sum for his transfer and also maintain a margin with a buyback clause, wouldn't that be the most sensible thing to do? Moreover, it is important to highlight a key aspect. We are talking about a player who came at zero cost. Anything earned from his sale represents pure profit. In a context where the club continues to seek ways to stabilize its finances without compromising the sporting project, operations like this are a blessing. There is no need to sell stars or touch the core of the team if moves like this can be successful. On the contrary, these decisions reflect the institutional maturity that the club has regained in recent times, knowing how to sell at the right time without weakening. Another advantage is that, with a well-negotiated buyback clause, Barça is covered. If Gerard thrives in his new environment and demonstrates that he can adapt to a more offensive style, the club will have the option to bring him back without incurring disproportionate expenses. This is a formula that other major clubs have used successfully and is now being applied here with intelligence. We are not closing the door on Gerard. We are simply giving him the opportunity to grow in another environment with the possibility of returning if he deserves it and fits into the future project. The Premier League has shown interest in him, which also speaks to the quality of our youth academy. The English market is willing to pay for well-trained young talents, and Gerard represents an attractive prospect for many teams looking for defensive solidity with good ball distribution. But at Barça, we are looking for something else right now. Flick wants intensity, vertigo, and unpredictability. And in this quest for a modern and ambitious identity, some profiles naturally lose their prominence. The important thing is that these decisions are not taken lightly. There is analysis behind them, a clear understanding of the direction the team is taking. The days of hoarding players out of respect for the past or fear of making mistakes are over. Now, we act with determination, and as Gules, we should rejoice in that. Gerard, of course, deserves our respect and gratitude. He has represented the club with dignity, but if his departure strengthens the team in the medium and long term, if it opens up space for emerging talents like Jofrito Renz, if it brings financial relief to the club, and if it leaves the door open for the future, then we can only applaud this management. Not all players are destined to have long careers in the first team, and that does not make them failures. Sometimes, their greatest contribution is precisely to pave the way for others. The potential departure of Gerard Martin should not be seen as a loss, but as a strategic step in a project that bets on emerging talent, tactical regeneration, and financial responsibility. The club, led with vision and firmness, does not cling to sentimentalism when the goal is to build an ambitious and coherent future. The fact that the club is willing to let go of a player who has performed well in demanding matches shows the level of demand that now exists in the dressing room. The bar is high, and those who do not adapt to the new coach's requirements will have to step aside. This is the only way to make Barça a feared, dynamic team that regains its identity with and without the ball. Internal competition is toughening, and this is also a reflection of planning that is beginning to show clear signs of direction. Additionally, parting ways with homegrown players for a sum representing net profits is an intelligent way to improve finances and gain margin for future operations. The club understands that it is not just about selling for the sake of selling, but doing so at the right time and under fair conditions. The valuation of Gerard at 15 million shows that Barça values its assets but also knows how to seize market opportunities. Now, the question is on the table. What do you think, Cules? Do you think selling Gerard Martin for 15 million with a buyback clause included is a wise decision? Or do you think he could still have a place in the team? The management is charting a path with firmness, transparency, and the clear idea of bringing us back to the place we deserve. And it all starts with knowing when to let go, knowing when to bet, and, above all, knowing how to build without fear. We see the new Barça, the one that does not back down, that makes decisions even when they are painful, and does so thinking of the greater good of the club. For my part, I applaud this stance because this is how great cycles are built, this is how greatness is regained. Thirdly, let's discuss a major transfer market move for Barça. Barça is making strategic and confident moves, as only a club of its stature and ambition can. While Saudi club Al Nassr is preparing a €70 million offer for Marc Cucurella, driven by their Portuguese star, the Blaugrana management has taken a step forward. Joan Laporta, with his characteristic experience and the support of his board, quickly entered the scene and activated the necessary mechanisms to position Barça as a serious contender in this bid. He did so with a clear conviction, to bring back a La Masia graduate who has grown, matured, and proven himself at the highest level. Marc Cucurella is not just any player. He is a footballer who has overcome adversity, refused to give up when others underestimated him, and built a solid career in one of the world's most demanding leagues. His performance with Chelsea has been remarkable. 48 matches last season, 7 goals, 3 assists, and a constant influence in both defense and attack. But what makes Cucurella truly valuable is not just his statistics, but his competitive spirit, leadership ability, and tireless energy on the field. In the current context of Barça, this is pure gold. The arrival of Hansi Flick has revolutionized the club's tactical and competitive landscape. His modern and precise European vision has transformed the profiles sought to strengthen the squad. In this analysis, Marc Cucurella emerges as one of the most desired players by the German coach. Flick has given his approval without hesitation. He sees Cucurella as a versatile footballer, capable of adapting to different systems, with exceptional physical endurance and a winning mentality. His profile perfectly fits the style of play that is consolidating in this new era under Flick, where balance, tactical aggression, and verticality set the pace. Laporta has understood this message and, beyond the strictly sporting aspect, also sees a powerful statement for Barça fans and European football. Barça is back, not only as a talent factory but also as a desired destination for those who know and value the significance of wearing these colors. Cucurella knows what it means to represent the club, understands its values, and has worn the badge since his youth. His return would not be just another transfer, but a reunion with his history, a reaffirmation of the model that has borne so much fruit. But this is not just about sentimentality. The operation makes sense from every angle. First, Cucurella's market price is high, yes, but manageable if handled intelligently and by activating certain financial levers already in motion. Additionally, the player would be willing to prioritize the sporting project over financial considerations. While Arabia offers astronomical figures, returning to Barça represents an emotional and professional leap for him. This willingness can make a difference in a complex but not impossible negotiation. Secondly, the Blaugrana squad would gain depth, international experience, and immediate solutions. Cucurella can perform as a fullback, a winger, and even as a midfielder in certain contexts. His versatility is an undeniable asset. Furthermore, his knowledge of the Spanish league would facilitate his immediate adaptation, a key factor when seeking results from the first minute. And we cannot ignore the symbolic component. At a time when many criticize the exodus of young talents, recovering a homegrown player who has triumphed abroad and decides to return is a gesture that strengthens the club's identity. The Barça fans need these signs. They need to feel that the badge is still a powerful magnet, that the sons of the house do not forget their roots, and that the project led by Laporta has credibility. Of course, the battle will not be easy. Al Nassr has a well-filled checkbook and the media weight of their Portuguese star. But in football, not everything can be bought with money. History, the jersey, collective ambition, and the player's authentic desire can tip the balance. And in this regard, Barça has the advantage. It has the soul, the plan, and the commitment to reclaim what is rightfully theirs. The coming weeks will be decisive. Initial contacts have already been made with the player's entourage and the English club from the offices in the Ciudad Condal. There is respect for Chelsea's institution, but also clarity in the objectives. If the right scenario presents itself, Barça will not hesitate to accelerate the operation and bring Marc Cucurella back as one of the most symbolic and functional transfers of this new phase. In this new phase led by Hansi Flick, Barça once again shows that it has not lost its winning instinct or its ability to identify valuable opportunities in the market. The fact that Joan Laporta has decided to enter the race for Marc Cucurella with determination is undoubtedly a testament to the mettle and strategic vision that is being imposed in the offices of the Catalan club. This is not just another transfer, but the return home of a La Masia graduate who has grown professionally in Europe and now presents himself as a top-level option to reinforce the left side with talent, energy, and competitive character. What Barça is doing in this market should be admired by the Cule fans. Far from acting with haste or improvisation, the sporting management is betting on established names who, in addition to having technical quality, understand the identity of the club. In this context, Cucurella fits perfectly. He knows the style of play, understands what this jersey represents, and arrives at full sporting maturity, ready to take on new challenges. Betting on his return is not just a sentimental gesture. It is a move that responds to a real tactical need and can brilliantly resolve an area that demands regularity, endurance, and defensive solidity. Furthermore, Hansi Flick's willingness to have him cannot be ignored. When a coach of his experience approves an incorporation with such conviction, the least the fan can do is trust his reading of the game and his planning. Beyond the millions that can be offered from Arabia, Barça has something that Al Nassr can never match: history, prestige, and the enchantment of competing in the best scenarios in the world, surrounded by a crowd that vibrates with every touch of the ball. For Cucurella to return would be much more than a market operation. It would be an act of football justice, a reunion with the essence, and also a new reason for the Barça fans to start dreaming again. And you, what do you think, Cules? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment.